Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Hope you're having a fantastic, fantastic day, and may peace be upon you. Thank you for watching my show. Yes, I can with your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. And today I have an inspiring guest who is the first Consular General, the first female Consular General in LA, Miss Anil Adenan, and she's also a mom of four. So, Anil, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Dizihar. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I really look forward to having this discussion with you. Thank you
Thank
again.
you so much. And Anil, she and her family, she's got four kids, if I'm not mistaken, two boys and two girls, if I
That's right.
remember correct. That's right. Yeah, remember correctly. She just arrived in LA, I think somewhere around just a few months back, so not really long. So, Anil, first off, what's your first impression of LA?
Ah, first impression of LA. I guess, we watch a lot of movies, right?
Yes.
I'm a movie goer and all that. So first impression of LA is always been like there are all this glamour and glitz. When I first knew that I'd be going to LA, I was like, yes. But to be honest, now when I arrived here, I was like, oh, gee, it's slightly different than what I envisioned it to be. So far, I've been here for about 2 months. I've not seen any actors, no Brad Pitt, no Angelina Jolie so far, although I know they stay here. But I guess that is something that I look forward to, and I should be really open my eyes when I walk into the streets of LA. But
Absolutely.
overall, LA is just very much interesting. There are just so many places to visit here. The weather is nice. We are now in fall, but it does feel like in summer at times.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I don't like winter, cold winter. So LA weather is just perfect for me. And the people here are very nice. The Malaysians especially are very warm and very welcoming. So far I'm loving my life here in LA. My kids, they love LA as well. So far it has
That's
been great.
awesome. Yes, that's awesome. So, we love to have you, and you're the first female consular general of Malaysia in LA. And I really get you about the cold weather because before this, my husband, my family, we lived in England for many, 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 many years. And then the British weather, right? Cold, dark, gloomy,
Yeah, the
everything,
gray.
like it's like a gray, and we only get the sun a few days of the year, and it's the cold, Anil. It's the cold that gets to your bones that I just can't stand anymore. There's a cold, and then there's a cold that gets into your bones, right? I'm like, ugh.
Right.
And then now we're like, hey, I'm like, hello, we're on a shirt, we're on a flip flops, and we just go. And I remember the first time I came to LA, I landed and we went on the freeway. 6 lanes in one side.
I
I'm
know,
like,
right?
what is this? It's unheard of. But tell us about what made you come to LA. I know that you with the ministry, you're part of a representative of the government. So what made you come to LA?
Well, as you mentioned that I'm with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and what we do is that we represent the country to another country, and the movement is like for every 3 to 4 years. So my first posting was in Santiago, Chile. That
Mm-hmm,
was back in 2007 until 2010.
mm-hmm,
And then I went back to Malaysia for 3 to 4 years. And then
mm-hmm.
I went for my second posting in Paris, France.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh la la,
Oh, bonjour,
c'est la
bonjour.
vie, c'est la vie. That was in 2014 until 2017. And then I
Mhm,
returned to Malaysia for 4 years. And this is my third
mhm,
posting, and as the Consul General. Now, each posting usually would be an indication of the progress in your career. So I started off as the second secretary in Santiago, Chile. And then in Paris, I was the minister counselor in elevation in a career. And then being a CG, a Consul General in LA, is another milestone in my career, so to speak, you know. So that's how I ended up in LA. And, you know, I'm more than happy and more than honored to be the first female CG in LA. Actually, the first female CG in North America, for that matter. We have the CG office in Vancouver, and we have also in New York. So I'm the first one. So yay!
Yay! Oh my God, that's amazing! Congratulations, and what a
Thank you.
blessing it is. And you know, I don't think women say this enough to each other, but I think you're amazing, and I'm so 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 proud of you for like going on, you know, your career, your dreams, because you know, sometimes culturally, or you know, that's we've been told, right, you know, we should stay home, take
I
care of the
know.
kids,
I
and
know.
you know, you can't go up the ladder just because you know of what's going to happen to your family and your kids and your husband. And I feel that you're such a courageous woman to be going forward and just like, okay, we're gonna go here. Let's go, darling.
Yeah.
You know, take your
Yeah.
kids, take your husband, and we're gonna go here. So talk, just to share a little bit of your point of view or your tips or principles in kind of like going for your dream, because you could easily say, no, thank you, I'm just gonna stay here. So talk us a little bit about your mindset in kind of like creating that leadership in your life and your career.
Okay. Thanks, Izihar. Yeah. Um, when you ask these sort of questions, and I think it has got to do with the trying to achieve the best work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to be successful in your career, but at the same time, you want to have that balance with regards to your family. You
Yeah.
know, and I have to admit that achieving that equilibrium of this work-life balance is not very easy, but it's
It's a myth,
doable.
Anil. It's a myth. It's
Exactly.
complete.
There's no
It's a
such thing
complete
as this
myth. That's not
equilibrium of
balance.
this work. That's right. You know, it's not easy, but it can be doable in the sense that we have to be, you have to adapt. You know, whenever you are thrown of these challenges, you must be able to think, you must be able to adapt, and you must be able to decide what you want, how we want to approach this matter. No, for me, being a woman, especially in the environment where male is more dominating,
Mm-hmm.
or majority of male, mostly you have to be fearless.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should not be afraid to pursue matters that are close to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to pursue your dreams, and you should be able to pursue your ambition. You know, get your voice heard, you know, express your thoughts, but at the same time, you know, you have to be practical and sensible. And how to be practical and sensible is knowing, have that knowledge, you know, learn as much as possible and how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you know, I always say that I'm also blessed because I have a very good support system.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned to you, like our life is like this modern nomad life. You know,
Yes.
we go from we stay in Malaysia for 3 years, and then we go to the other country for 3 to 4 years, and then return, and to go to another country, perhaps a different continent. And these things are also, I have to take into consideration for my family as well,
Yes.
because it does
Correct.
not just involve me, it involves
Mm-hmm.
my husband and my kids. So
Mm-hmm.
to have a very good support system, especially a partner who really understands you
Mm-hmm.
and supports you in the career, is a blessing. So I must say that
Absolutely.
when I meet with the female officers, young female officers at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know, because in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs we have a mentor program.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've been a mentee to a senior, a female officer, very inspiring. She is now the ambassador, female ambassador in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I became a mentor
Yes.
twice. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I always say this to female officers, my mentees, that one is that to always pursue your ambition and your ambition and dreams, but at the same time to be practical and sensible. But also equally important is for you to find someone who is supportive
Mm-hmm.
of your career, of your ambition, and
Mm-hmm.
objective in life in general. Because without this
Absolutely.
strong support system, um, you wouldn't be able to achieve all this. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, I can't be with people who are dream crushers. I can't,
Mm,
because like with you, the same thing. You've got a dream. You can't be with someone who are dream crushers, right? Whether
yeah,
it's your family or around you, a support system.
yeah,
I'm like, because it hurts. Because you have a dream and then you're being told to do not to go for your dream. It
yeah,
hurts, right? It's kind of
yeah,
like pays you down
yeah.
in that sense. And so, because I remembered, like, even with my husband, he's got his own successful job, and I have mine
Yes.
in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I remember, like, when I was 16 years old, like, I went to Mecca with my grandma, Mamin, and my
Mm,
two uncles, Ayahmi and Ayasham.
mm,
So I went to Mecca. I was 16 then, and then I stood in front of the Kaaba. Stand in the place where Prophet Solomon stood, and I was facing the Kaaba, and I made so many prayers and
mm,
du'as in the
mm.
16th, and one of them was, God grant me a great husband who's done this and
Yeah.
who's gonna do. And I was 16, but I knew, like, I wanted to have that, and then a few years later, God granted me my husband. So kind of like,
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, Alhamdulillah, thank you, thank God for that. It's just about, I feel, it's the quantum physics of creating that, right? Because you don't want to just like anybody to be
I
in your life or
agree.
your
I agree.
husband. So
Yeah.
Anil, just talk through for those single ladies who got married, single ladies, like, how was it for you to find a husband that's supportive of your dreams? What did it take? What did you do? Was it like me? Like, I went to Mecca, and then, and then God granted me my husband. So how is it? Because that's always like the hot stuff. How did you find your husband?
Well, we met through a mutual friend actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we are right for each other, then we would understand and we would fully support each
Mm-hmm.
other. My even at the very early stage, when I met my husband, I was doing something else. I was
Okay.
actually a software engineer in an
Mm.
IT company.
Mm-hmm.
So when you meet and then when you learn of each other's character, then you will see
Yeah.
whether this is something that you want to pursue or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can see that he's very understanding. He always say that, you're such a workaholic, uh,
Yeah.
but at least he knows that I am that, and he knows that I'm very driven.
Yes, and he
And not
accepts
only,
that, right? It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah, from the head
tend to
start,
change
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the very head start, that he knows my characters and he is acceptable of the my characters, and I know his
Mm-hmm.
characters too. That I know that he would be supportive of my career, that
Mm-hmm.
he understands me, and he
Mm-hmm.
would not hold me down, or say no to what I believe in or what I want to achieve, and that's very
Yes.
important. So even when I decided to venture or change my career from a software engineer to
Mm-hmm.
a diplomat,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about this, and I told him that this will be very different because I was working in Kuching at that time, so I
Yes.
moved to Putrajaya. So he stayed on in Kuching. So I
Mm.
told
Kuching,
him
which
that
is the east side of Malaysia, for those who are
that's right,
listening. Kuching is on the east side of Malaysia. So that's the west side and there's the east side. So it's separated by the South China Sea. So it's
that's
not in the
right.
same. peninsula
Yeah,
as the mainland of Malaysia.
yeah. So you have to travel, right, by
Mm,
aeroplane. So it's not something that you can travel by a car.
yes.
So it's already like even before getting married, so it's already a distance or there. And but he understands that this is my dream. This
Mm-hmm.
is something that I want to pursue even before meeting him. um
Mm-hmm.
so when I moved to Putrajaya, the capital administration of Malaysia, and working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so we
Mm-hmm.
had a discussion. I told him honestly that this is my career now. I'm not
Yeah.
going to change my career, and there will be a progression of my career, I hope. This is what
Mm-hmm.
I want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But what does it entails by working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? It means that,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be working here in Malaysia for 3 years, and then I will go to another country for posting, and then return
Mm-hmm.
another posting, and then that it would
Yeah.
be, the life would not be very, in the sense, normal,
Mm-hmm.
because you move around and all that. When you move around, you be meeting with new people, new culture and all that. So it needs adjustment. Every 3 to 4 years, you need to have readjustment. You adjust yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I explained that to him, and he accepted. He's
Mm-hmm.
willing to do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
So you know only when we have that understanding, then we can move on together. So
Mm,
I think that's very
absolutely.
important. Communication is very important.
Yes, exactly. And things are going to change, right, Onion? Along the years, along the line, things are going to change. But what's important is the communication, and whether are you gonna be supportive or on the same page, or you choose not to.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really important part, because
Mm.
people think like, how do I say this? People think like, oh, the date, that the dating or finding the right one is everything. But little did they know, everything starts when the ring goes on the finger.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Everything starts then. Even though you know that person for some time, you've been friends, but everything starts. And I feel that in a marriage, every day is a choice, isn't it? Like every day is a choice whether you want to be in it or not.
Yeah,
So, I mean, kind of like you mentioned something about the scale and the balance kind of thing. I feel that it's a myth. You can never get the balance equal to
yeah, yeah.
something. Sometimes you give more, sometimes you give less. So, can you give us
That's right.
like a practical tips on when that happens, and how do you kind of manage around it? For example, on the days that you have to work longer, you're going to be traveling, you're traveling soon. So, can you give us some tips in how kind of like a structure that you put in to help your family still be healthy and happy and still functional when you're away? So give us a little tip on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, as you mentioned that I'll be traveling to San Francisco and San Jose next week. So it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a week long business trip for me.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to try to balance it, and I guess like this weekend, like for example, then I'll be spending most of the time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, after this, we're going to Little India. It will be our first time. So spending as much as quality time with the family before going for a long trip is important. Is how I also
Mm-hmm.
try to have that, you know, balance in that line, I guess.
Yes.
And then making sure, as a mother, you really make
Mm-hmm.
sure that there's enough food in the fridge, this kind of thing. But it's more like that. I think
Mm-hmm.
there are times that you would want to you know that you are going to go for a long, or you're going to be absent from their physical life for quite some time. So prior to
Mm-hmm.
that, then you spend more time with them, quality time, go to the park, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I kind of try to balance it. with kids, yeah, and my
That,
family.
yeah, that's like really, really practical things, isn't it? Because you know what's gonna happen. You like spend time, a little bit of time, make sure there's enough food. Do your best to kind of like give them you before you
Yeah.
kind of like leave. Even like for me, remember when I traveled, I would like pre-cook the whole meal. I put a bag in
Oh
the
yeah, I do that
freezer,
too.
and exactly like the things that we do, right? We don't just go. We would like figure out how the family's going to be taken care of,
Yeah.
and all that. So I know like you do a lot. You're like a leader, and you're the leader in the Consular General in LA, Consul General Malaysia in LA. You're also a mom, a wife, and a part of a community member. So my question is, Anil, how do you take care of you? So, because you,
Mm,
as a mom, you always give everything to everybody, and then by the end of the day, there might not be anything left for you.
mm,
So, how do you take care of you? Like, what's your
mm,
me time?
mm,
How do you regenerate yourself
mm.
to, you know, to take, have a little bit of me time? So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For me, it's important to have me time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, it can be very exhausting.
Yeah.
Because you're leading. You're the boss. In the office, and then it's continuous work for women, especially
Right.
you're leading in the office, and when you come home, then you're a mother, you're a wife, so work does not end actually. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important to have a me time.
Mm-hmm.
How I do my me time is that usually I go to a cafe, and I have a good book to read. That's very precious to me. um,
Mm-hmm.
but I also like to um, do some like running, because I'm pretty active in that. I like to run. So during
Mm-hmm.
running, it is how I de-stress. Because when I run, I listen to music, and I just do not think of anything except
Mm-hmm.
for listening, and setting my pace in my run. So that's my me time actually. Running, working out, and also
Okay, I think like I'm into. Oh, there we are. You're back. Okay, so running, working out. I think the connection just stopped earlier. Running, working out, and what's the other thing?
Oh, I was saying that going to cafes,
Mm-hmm.
nice cafe with a good book to read.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I do my me time.
Absolutely, and I think like it's really important because a lot of time as moms, as wife, we feel guilty when we take some me time, right? Because we feel that it should be for our husband or our children or for someone else. So
Oh
how can we bypass the guilt trip, Anil, of feeling guilty when you go for me time?
no, I don't feel guilty at all. In order for you to serve, in order for you to provide, in order to you for you to ensure this happy life that you have with your family, you have to be happy with yourself first, right? Because then you have to make sure that your mental health is in a good
Mhm.
state for
Mhm.
you to provide to others. And you
Mm.
have to make sure that you're happy in
Yes,
order for you to provide happiness
yes,
to others in your life. So self-care is very important. I do believe in that, and I do believe that mothers, women shouldn't be guilty of having their own me time. That's important. That's important for you to be able to give more to others later on.
absolutely. It's like putting money in your bank account, isn't it? The more you have the me time, the more you're putting money in your own bank account so that it grows. Because otherwise, you're kind of withdrawing, and then you come to an overdraft and deficit, and
Yeah,
then
that's right.
it just crashed. That's what a lot of women feel. burned out and the health kind of like crashed. So Anil, as we're wrapping up, what is one practical tip that you can share with a female leader in taking a step forward to going for the dreams, even though it's scary?
Even though it's scary, for
Mm-hmm.
me, I like the Nike slogan. You know, just do it.
Yeah.
Uh, in life, if you are afraid of things, you wouldn't be able to move forward,
Mm,
and you wouldn't even know whether that's a good thing or not. You Like I said, that one of the things that my tips to others is that you don't be fearless.
mm.
So if you have doubts, for me, just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And just
If
do it. Nike said it so well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, just do it.
multi-million dollar
Yeah, just do it.
slogan.
Yeah, just do it. And see, and later on,
Mm-hmm.
if thing does not fall as what you expected, then you make assessment,
Mm-hmm.
like whether you want to pursue further, or whether you would need to change your approach to
Mm-hmm.
get what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, just do it. There's nothing wrong of
Absolutely.
doing things. Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think as when you start to do something, you start to learn, you start to grow, you start to
that's
feel
right.
braver, you learn so many things, and the right people come to your life. So the munchkin is awake now. So
So
that's
cute.
fantastic. Hey, sweetheart. So Anil, so what is now kind of like wrapping up everything now, what is one fun thing that people don't know about you? And you can't say running, you can't say reading a book at a cafe. So what's one fun thing that people don't know about you?
One fun thing that people do not know about me. Well, uh, um, I like to dance.
Yay! The
Yeah,
movement. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I used to dance back in school,
Mm-hmm.
but then when you start with your college, and because I was actually a government sponsored student, so I kind of stopped that because I was concentrating more on the academics. And then when you start in your careers and you're focusing on that, but actually I can dance, uh, and
That's so cool.
it was just last week that um, I attended, or the Consul General of Malaysia attended this ASEAN Women Ladies event to honor frontliners, and we have to make a performance. So we danced. We did a Macarena line dance, So it was really fun and all that. But my officers and my staff, they were really surprised. Oh, fun, you can
Yes.
dance and all that. I said, yeah, this is the part of me that I kind of suppressed earlier because of work and all that. But yeah, so I guess that's fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as a leader, you need to be able to move your body, right? In a certain way, certain direction. Because people believe 70-80% of your body movement compared to what 20% of what
Mm.
you say. Because
No.
the body is the part that can betray you. Like for example, like if you on because I know a body movement coach, one of the top body movement coach who trains A-listers, FBI agent, and when agents go to infiltrate places, the thing that betrays them is the body. That's what gets
Oh,
them. That's what gets them in trouble because okay, you say something, but your body is like you
or
know
the body language. Yeah,
exactly the body language is like and then people gets it right
right.
so I think like as a leader it's really important that you have a sense of embodiment of your body, how you move, especially when you're on a stage speaking, Like, if you're on a stage speaking, you cross your body like that, people are gonna be like, what are
Yeah,
you talking about? And you're talking
that's
about being
right.
happy and you cross your body. I'm like, no, that doesn't
Yeah,
resonate. So that is
yeah.
so cool. I love it. Fun and dancing and movement. What an amazing thing. And finally, what's one word that you can leave as a tip, as a tip or inspiration for the readers to think about? What's one word that comes up with you as inspiration for you today?
I guess it comes back to the slogan or the motto in my life, that I guess
Mm,
that one word will be fearless. You know?
fearless. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. And fearless is like, it's courageous, it's being brave. It doesn't mean that you're not scared. It means that you're
yeah,
still scared, but you still do it anyway. Um,
exactly,
and not
exactly.
like, because everybody is scared, right, to do something. They always have that because it means you're living, but you
Yeah,
do it anyway because of
yeah,
that.
exactly. You know, it the first thing that to do is that to be fearless, to do something new, to do something that is outside your comfort zone.
Hmm.
But then on after being fearless, then you get to assess, then you strategize
Hmm.
what and how to do next. So but the very first
Absolutely.
thing for me, the word, if you ask me only one word, I would say fearless.
That is spot on, and it's truly epitome of my latest book, Woman Who Leads. So Anil is truly an epitome of women
Oh,
who
thank you.
lead, fearless, and going out there and just, because every time you make a decision, you just do it. The person that you are a year after will never be the same as the
Yeah,
person that you were if you stay in your comfort zone. So that's what
mm,
courage and brave takes you through. So
yeah.
thank you so much, Anil, for today. What an amazing conversation. What a pleasure. What a privilege. And what a celebration to celebrate you as the first female consulate general of Malaysia in LA. So it's like, because it's always like, I think I've been like two, three, or different consulate general, they're all men. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I've got my seat in place now. Like,
Yeah.
it's more,
Well,
it's
thank
more
you very much.
relatable.
Thank you very much, Izihar. Thank you very much for having me. And when we had this first discussion, because I remember we were at the event and we were
Yes.
saying about this, like, yeah, sure, this is something that I like to do, like sharing my experience, and try to motivate and inspire, especially the younger women. So that is
Mm-hmm.
something that I love to do, actually. So thank you very much for the experience. And yes, no, I try my level best to be the best consul general of Malaysia in LA, the first female, because when I first arrived here, I get this a
Mm-hmm.
lot of comments like, oh, you're the first female CG, and especially from Malaysia, right? So they are, oh, that's a very good thing that is like, it's like a progression. Malaysia is
Yes.
already a modern, progressive country, but having a first female after so many years in the
Yes.
US is something to be celebrated for. And sometimes I do get the comments like, oh, I wonder how it is working with a female CG. And I
Mm-hmm.
always say that it shouldn't be any different, perhaps better.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be epic. Like I always say, like it is done. So thank you so much for today, Anil, and thank you for
Thank
those who
you.
are listening. I'm gonna be putting the show notes below after this. So go and check out about Anil and her bio. So thank you so much for listening. This is your host, Dr. Izdihar Jamil. Yes, I can. Tell yourself, yes, I can, and so it is done. Thank you for listening, and you'll say
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.